Welcome to the Quick Galloper YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell.
They're off for the Miracle Man Cup. Get a Pepsi just a shade slowly out with interesting times ahead at the back. As they make their way toward the 6, and Mamma Mia, as expected, goes for that lead. Atlantic Convoy, Gervano out wide in the red cap. Digital One and Wall Street Trader team up in behind. Over Revolution races on the outside of Get a Pepsi. Is that a fact? Second from the back, and interesting times ahead yet to recover. They've left the 5/8 and run toward the half mile, and out in front, Mamma Mia continues to skitter on with a 4-length lead almost. Atlantic Convoy chasing with Gervano. A Digital One on the inside, Wall Street Trader in the red house to go down. Our Revolution now needs to do some more running. A break back to Get a Pepsi, and is that a fact? They're tied together in a knot. And last of all, interesting times ahead being ridden but going nowhere at the moment. They make their way toward the 5/16. Can they catch Mamma Mia? Gervano now let loose. So to Wall Street, a Trader. Digital One is on the rail. Of a Revolution and Radish Roman will take the widest route into the lane, but they're at the top of it. A quarter of a mile to run. Mamma Mia, here is Gervano kicking in, and Gervano points. Watch Digital One down against the rail. Of a Revolution is widest of them all, and now beginning to bubble to the board. It's Of a Revolution and Gervano matching strides. Gervano and Of a Revolution continue. Of a Revolution, Gervano fighting him off. Gervano and Robert Halidine holding the lead. This is the Miracle Man Cup, and Gervano beats Our Revolution. Is that a fact? Is third. Mamma Mia fourth. Wall Street Trader is fifth.
They're at the post. And they're off. Good start out wide for the Grey Cooey, headed off for the early advantage, moving up toward the inside. Bedtime is on the move, splitting them. Arami's Factory far away, and Just a Philly comes away fourth. The trio at the back are Galloper d'Hermé, Royal Poppy, and Heartbeat. Down the backstretch they go, and it's a crowded early advantage. Arami's Factor surrounded on both sides. Bedtime toward the rail, Cooey out in the center. Just a Philly is moving in the white and red colors down toward the inside. Gonzalez aborts mission on that and angles to the center. Galloper d'Hermé is next, 3 in front of Royal Poppy. Driven at the back is Heartbeat. A good quarter here, 22-1. Pace a lively one as they hit the far turn. In the middle, Arami's Factor, 3 wide, and moving up is Cooey. At the rail, Bedtime. Angling and moving, Just a Philly. She's on the attack now. Just a Philly was fourth. She's now third, now second, and within a neck of the lead. Running home from the back, Castellano swings Royal Poppy to the center. She's in the yellow blinkers, making off rivals. She's into third now. They went to half in 45-1, and they reached the top of the stretch. Just a Philly has overhauled Cooey, who's back to second. She's about to lose second to Royal Poppy, who has fresh legs down the center. Here comes Royal Poppy after Just a Philly. Royal Poppy and Castellano surging up now. They've taken a clear lead. Just a Philly is back to second, but this one belongs to Royal Poppy. Royal Poppy in the colors of Trevor James to win by 3. Just a Philly second, Cooey third, Heartbeat fourth in 123 flat.
And now they're off and racing. Inspire Force misses it, and it's racing at the back of the field. Zulu Warrior blast into an early lead going past the 5. Of a Revolution is right behind him. Just on the outside, that's a Smart Trick. Right against the rail, that's Money Market. Also in the mix, that's Allegiance, and tailing off badly at the back of the field, that's Inspire Force. They head toward the 3, and Zulu Warrior and Offer Revolution. Offer Revolution now goes through from Zulu Warrior. Money Market wind up and ask for a run. Also trying to come on, that's a Smart Trick. Tailing off a bit, that's Allegiance, and still way out of it, that's Inspire Force there at the top of the lane, and Alpha Revolution kicks away right in the middle and trying to come on. That's Money Market. It's Alpha Revolution straight in through in front, just coming to the furlong pole, and Alpha Revolution looks to have this one all sewn up. They're all chasing Alpha Revolution. Zulu Warrior is right there in second, right there third. That's Money Market, but Alpha Revolution will win the 9th running of the SVREL Anniversary Trophy, beating Zulu Warrior. Then comes Money Market. Allegiance runs on to be fourth. ready for a start. Often Racing came out in a good line. Left at the back of the field, that's King Pie. Neo Star has speed and a chart the course. Neo Star from Teflon Don. Then comes Gurvan right against Derail Barnaby, and left at the back of the field, that's King Pie. They make their way in the clubhouse turn, and it's Neo Star just about 3/4 of a length in front of Teflon Don. Another 6 before we come to Gurvan. Then comes 2 to Barnaby, and racing at the back of the field, that's King Pie. They turn over on the backstretch with just over 6 furlongs to travel, and Neo Star right on the outside of Neo Star, that's Teflon Don. They're about 6 or 7 in front of Gurvan. Then another 2 before we come to Barnaby, and way out of it, that's King Pie. Making the way passing the 5, and it is Neo Star, just the leader, tested all the way by Teflon Don. Getting closer, that's Gurvan. Right, and watching them from 4th, that's Barnaby, and hopelessly out of it, King Pie going past the 4 and head toward the 3. Neo Star and Teflon Don, these two glued together. Neo Star now kicking away, going on by a length from Teflon Don. Has to get closer, that's Gurvan. Barnaby is making stealthy progress at about 15 or 20 lengths to King Pie. Hopelessly out of it. They're at the top of the lane, Neo Star. Barnaby now gets rolling. Neo Star in front. Barnaby trying to get Neo Star. And now Barnaby hits the front. Neo Star still there battling on the inside. Coming out wide, that's Gurvan. It is Barnaby in front and traveling nicely. Barnaby begins to pull away from these. Barnaby in front and in total control. Barnaby and Radish the Sneaky Fox Roman in the end by about 7. Gurvano gets second, then comes Neo Star. I think Teflon Don just headed King Pie for 4th.
They're off for the Seeking My Dream Trophy. Almost perfect start. Gurvano left at the back with Is That a Fact? California Crown has speed along with Neo Star. They match strides early. Fun Khan done just in behind them as they make their way toward the 6. Barnaby races next, maybe 8 lengths off that lead. Gurvano now moving on the inside and joining. Is That a Fact? Now left at the back, outsped. Approaching the final 5. California Crown on the lead and has the speed. Neo Star a length down and chasing. A break back to Fun Khan done. Gurvano is 2 lengths in behind him. Barnaby pulling alongside, and next separates those two. And Is That a Fact? Needs to do a lot more as they leave the half mile and begin to quicken as they run the turn. California Crown attempting to go all the way with a 2-length lead. Neo Star continues the chase. Fun Khan done wound up now, begins to make progress and are making gains. Gurvano and Barnaby run as a team. Is That a Fact? Outsped and continues to race at the back as the field will come thundering into the top of the lane. It is a California Crown in the green cap. Neo Star gets a perfect run against the rail. Here is Fun Khan done unleashed on the outside, and now Fun Khan done grabs the lead. California Crown continues to fight on. Neo Star left back on the rail, but it is still out in front. Fun Khan done and Robert Hallidine. They're powering their way inside the final 16. Fun Khan done getting cracks of the stick. Won't be caught in the Seeking My Dream Trophy. Fun Khan done wins by maybe 4. California Crown Brave hangs on for second, tight between Gurvano and Neo Star. For the Liu Chie Poo, they're sent off. King Pie, Captain Sparrow, the ones at the back early. Supremacy comes away running with Blue Vinyl wanting that lead as they make their way running past the 7. Sheer Delight races next. Interesting times ahead of Mojito. Then comes Provident. Captain Sparrow racing toward the back of the field. That's his usual position. Overtaken by Provident. And last of all, it is a King Pie. They make their way down the far side. Sheer Delight in control of the speed. Leads up by some 3 lengths. Supremacy chasing in second under a tight wrap. Mojito the Grey now moves down into third as they leave the 5 and make their way to the half-mile marker. Interesting times ahead, and Blue Vinyl team up in behind. Provident is 3 lengths in behind them. A gap to Captain Sparrow, and King Pie needs a miracle. They've left the half mile and run that turn for home. They're coming to the 7/16th, and Sheer Delight continues to maintain the advantage under Everett Clunis as they run away now toward the 3/8 pole. It is Sheer Delight. Supremacy now cutting into the lead. Mojito looks a danger. Interesting times ahead. Close enough if good enough. 4 lengths back to Blue Vinyl, racing ahead of Provident. Then Captain Sparrow. Forget King Pie, but they're coming into the lane. And Sheer Delight drifts off a true line. Supremacy pouncing over on the rail. Watch the grey Mojito now coming in between horses. Blue Vinyl is wound up against the rail. Interesting times ahead. Switched on the extreme outside. Supremacy battling to hold the lead inside the final furlong. Here is Blue Vinyl now with a testing run. Supremacy and Blue Vinyl in a head bob there inside the final 16. Supremacy and Blue Vinyl battling the bobbing heads toward the line. It's close. Could be Blue Vinyl over Supremacy. Then interesting times ahead. Also close between Sheer Delight and Mojito. Starter ready? They're off for the 7.5 furlong event. Fearless Soul and Mojito race at the back along with Provident. Phenomenal Power shows early speed, leaving the 7 Diesel Train and Florindia now on the attack as they make their way toward the 6. A break back to Royal Poppy, joined by Gervano overtaking narrowly. Mojito and Supremacy team up in behind those. A gap opens up to a Fearless Soul. Interesting times ahead. Invisible at the moment, and Provident trails the field. They've left the 5 behind them, and Phenomenal Power shows power and speed and has that lead by almost 3 lengths. Diesel Train and Florindia the closest pursuers as they arrive at the half mile. Mojito is asked to make some ground. That's the grey down on the inside as they run away now toward the final 3. Royal Poppy is next. Gavana now wound up, beginning to make ground. Supremacy is 4.5 lengths in behind those. A break of 5 to interesting times ahead, making mild progress. Fearless Soul toward the back of the field, and Provident is last. They've left the 5/16th. They're coming into the lane. Phenomenal Power attempts to go all the way with Radish Roman now becoming busy, being chased by Diesel Train, who is 4 or 5 lengths left back. But it is Phenomenal Power. Radish Roman all over Phenomenal Power, and the response is immediate. Phenomenal Power powers away from them inside the final furlong. Diesel Train is chugging along in second, but a gap behind. They're inside the final 16th. This is the 5th running of the Clovis Metcalfe CDOD. Phenomenal Power wins by double digits over Diesel Train. Then Royal Poppy. Interesting times ahead. Gervano is 5th. Starter ready? They're off for the Viceroy. Our Revolution comes away running quickly, wants that lead. Wall Street Trader is moving up to join. Pack plays the favourite, settled just between horses, these 3 and up abreast as they charge toward the half mile. So Don is just 3.5 lengths off that lead. Neo Star and Supremacy race next. They leave the half mile behind them, arriving at the 7/16th, and it is Our Revolution who continues to lead. Pack plays by a length. Wall Street Trader and Don hook up in behind. A break back to Neo Star, and Supremacy not coping with the speed left at the back. They leave the 5/16th. They come thundering into the top of the lane. Can they catch Of a Revolution? Don is in a handy spot down against the rail. A pack play is now driven out, and Wall Street Trader 4 wide. It's Of a Revolution. Don harassing all the time. Pack plays needs to do some more along with Wall Street Trader and the rest. Of a Revolution and Don, these 2 matching strides. They drive inside the final 16th, and Don now hits the front. Of a Revolution has no answers. Don and Omar Walker take the Viceroy over Of a Revolution. Neo Star is third, close between Supremacy and the pack plays. They're up for the Eros Trophy. Gervano is the one, a bit sluggish at the start as they charge down the back stretch, and the California Crown in the black cap sets the pace. Nautical Star, Legacy Isle tucked in between them, filling the sandwich as they race toward the 5. Don, the 3-year-old, getting closer on the outside. Fun Can't Unsettled, some 6 lengths off the pace with Neo Star. Gervano trying to find the run against the rail, and Is That a Fact trails the field. They make their way toward the half mile in the Eros Trophy. And galloping along, that's Legacy Isle with a 3.5 length lead. Nautical Star going in hot pursuit. California Crown has felt the pain and now drops back into third. A break back to Sedona has to make ground. That's Gurvana moving down against the rail. Fun Can Done now begins to pick up the tempo as they leave the 3-8 pole. In behind them is that a fact has overtaken Neo Star, but the field will come thundering into the top of the lane, and the Legacy Isle and Radish Roman turn first with a commanding advantage. Nautical Star taking aim and asked to reel the leader in, but up front Radish Roman now gets busy with the right hand stick, and Legacy Isle continues to hold the advantage. They slip past the furlong pole in the Eros Trophy. It is Legacy Isle full of run inside the final 16th. Legacy Isle and Radish Roman will take the Eros Trophy. They take it by maybe 4 lengths. Gurvana running on from behind gets the better of Nautical Star. Fun Can Done finishes back in 4th. Still waiting now they're off for the Chairman's Trophy. Barnaby, interesting times ahead. They just missed it by a beat. Pack Plays is rushing up now, going for that lead. Gurvana on the outside. California Crown is the one racing near the rail as they make their way toward the 6. Pack Plays setting those fractions easily. Flashes past the 6 with a 3-length lead. Gurvana settled down in second. Stablemate California Crown now moving into second. Gurvana held tightly in third. Interesting times ahead is back in fourth, maybe 5.5 to 6 lengths off the lead as they flash past the 5. A break up some 3 to Barnaby, and at the back of the field it's a Provident as they make the way toward the half mile. Pack Plays will take them past it with that lead, attempting to steal the show. Gurvana now set alight by Haladine and asked to close the gap as they leave the 7/16. California Crown under a bit of an urge. Interesting times ahead, just overtaken narrowly by Barnaby, and a Provident races last as they come inside the final 5/16, and Pack Plays may have stolen it. Gurvana is being driven to get on terms, but Pack Plays into the lane first, the rider having a peep in both mirrors as Pack Plays continues to hold the advantage, and now the stick comes out in the right hand. Gurvana is left maybe 5 lengths back. Barnaby is over against the rail. It is Pack Plays attempting to go all the way in the Chairman's Trophy. The question is, can they catch the fleet of foot Pack Plays? And Christopher Mamdi in the answer, no, they can't. Pack Plays will take it easily in the end by maybe 7 lengths. Gurvana is second, Barnaby is third. Interesting times ahead is fourth. They're off. Neostar staggers out at the back. Wizkid is driven down the rail trying to get that lead. Toward the outside, Don Quezzy is running fast along with Hail the Queen, and Don Quezzy picks it up as they arrive at the mile and go into the clubhouse turn. Hail the Queen pulls alongside, they match strides. A break up some 4 back to Rainsville in the yellow silks. Pretty Brown Ting on the outside of a recovering Neostar. Wicked Cassie in the green races on the rail. A break of 4 back to Brenda Boy. Wizkid is next, and last of all, it's the Rail Identity. They've left the 7 behind them. They take to the back stretch and approach the final 6, and Hail the Queen has now been put to that lead, opening up 3.5 lengths as they go toward the 5. Don Quezzy chasing in second. Neostar is a further 2 lengths back in third, held together as they approach the 5. Rainsville the Grey races just in front of Pretty Brown Ting. 3.5 lengths back to Wicked Cassie. Wizkid on the rail. Brenda Boy on the outside circling horses, and last of all, it's the Rail Identity. They're about to arrive at the half mile and go running into the turn, and Don Quezzy has not shot through to get that lead. Neostar breathing down the neck of the leader. Hail the Queen begins to fade. Rainsville the Grey racing down against the fence as they drive past the 7/16. Brenda Boy is making a big move. Wizkid racing in behind them. Pretty Brown Ting is next, overtaken by Wicked Cassie. Hail the Queen fading badly. The Rail Identity remains last as the field have left the 5/16, and they'll now come into the lane with Don Quezzy out in front, being chased by Neostar, the favourite. The rider has a look over his shoulder. He sees Neostar now beginning to lengthen strides, but Don Quezzy maintains the advantage. A quick change of hold as they drive toward the furlong pole. It is Don Quezzy. Neostar now coming with a charge on the outside, and Neostar joins Don Quezzy, but the moment is a brief one, and now Neostar, the favourite, strikes the front. Don Quezzy trying to fight back, but it's not going going to happen. Neo Star wins the second running of the International Women's Day Trophy. Don Quezzi is second, Brenda Boy third, Wicked Cassie is fourth, close between the Real Identity and Whiz Kid for fifth. '25th Anniversary Trophy. It's over a mile and they're off. Fair start. Sure Delight just missed it. Supernatural Power racing at the back early. As Nautical Star charts the course, Don Quezzi moving within a length and racing near the rail as they leave the 7. Barnaby races toward the outside of Horses as they go charging down the back stretch and make their way toward the 6. Nautical Star out in front. Sure Delight moving well. Supernatural Power is there. In between Horses, that's Sensational Soul as they drive toward the 5. Don Quezzi is next, and then Barnaby brings up the rear. They're arriving at the 5. Nautical Star attempting to go all the way. Supernatural Power now on the move and going just within a length. Don Quezzi is racing back in third. A break of some 3 back to Sheer Delight as they charge away now inside the final half of a mile. Sensational Soul is second from the back, now being caught by Barnaby. Nautical Star running away from this field. Supernatural Power now driven up along with Don Quezzi, but they need to find maybe 5.5 lengths each as they arrive inside the final 5/16th, and it is a Nautical Star who has led them pillar to post thus far. Nautical Star coming to the head of the stretch with that lead. Don Quezzi under a bustling ride. Supernatural Power running no race at all as Nautical Star continues to lead. Don Quezzi, the new star, now asked to make ground on the outside. Supernatural Power and Barnaby left, struggling in behind, but it is out in front. Nautical Star with a clear lead under Omar Walker. Nautical Star comes running away in the SVREL 25th Anniversary Trophy. Nautical Star will win it. A double for Anthony Nunes. Barnaby is second. He has the exacta. Don Quezzi finishing ahead of Supernatural Power. They're off for the Levy. Fair start. Barnaby just toward the back of the field in the early exchanges. Ride All Day took off quickly, so too California Crown wanting that lead. Pack Place is rushing up now to challenge for the lead, and Pack Place goes on. California Crown just a half a length down. A break of 5 or 6 lengths back to Ride All Day, accompanied by a Fun Can't Done as they make their way toward the final 6 on the back stretch. Barnaby moving fluently on the rail. Neo Star in the pack in the middle of it. Gervano racing out wide in the red cap. And Supernatural Power is last of the field. Down the back stretch they go. They make their way toward the 5. They're about to pass it. And a Pack Place and a California Crown share that lead. Just a neck separates them. A huge gap to Ride All Day, waiting on the leaders to fold up. Fun Can't Done settled in between Horses as they leave the half-mile marker. There goes Gervana now making ground. Supernatural Power has caught up that bunch quickly. Fun Can't Done left back a bit and now pumped and asked to go down. Barnaby races toward the back along with Neo Star. They share last as they've left the 3 and come toward the 5/16th. The race about to climax. And the Pack Plays has now snatched that lead. A Ride All Day now is on the premises and beginning a charge, but they're into the top of the lane. A Pack Plays giving way immediately as Ride All Day is unleashed and now takes charge. Ride All Day begins to bounce away from them. Supernatural Power, the closest pursuer. Fun Can't Done needs to do a lot more on the rail, but it is a Ride All Day beginning to go away from this field inside the final 16th. It is Ride All Day and Ian Spence with a 4-length lead. They're not going to catch Ride All Day. A spectacular performance, winning the Ian Levy Cup. Supernatural Power is second. Barnaby is third. Gervano is fourth. Fun Can't Done is fifth.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from QuickGallopJaya.com and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for other enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.